Thank you to Katie, the 2022 service team, for bringing me in. As I said, it's an honor, it's a privilege. But y'all, when I heard the theme of the conference, the do something moment, that just resonated with me, right? Like how many, did that resonate with y'all? Like the do something moment, right? That just resonated with me. And when I think about the phrase, the do something moment, at the core of it, I think it's about taking advantage of the opportunity to impact, to serve, and to change someone's life. Now, I firmly believe that life is made up of moments, right? And I just believe that life is about finding a way to take advantage of the opportunities to do something positive in the moments that life gives us. Now, I'll never forget, one morning I was catching a flight from Dallas to Colorado. And this was my first time ever flying to Colorado. And I remember when I got to the gate, there was this row of empty seats just off to the side. So I sat down on one of the seats, I pulled out my phone out my back pocket, and I'm just on Instagram just scrolling down my timeline, right? And out of nowhere, this woman, she comes and she sits down right next to me. She had to be in her late 40s, early 50s, and she asked me, she said, "Can you help me?" She said, "I haven't gotten on a plane in years, and I don't really remember how this works." So I said, "Yeah, sure, I can help you." And I began to explain to her the procedure for boarding and how you know whether or not it's time for you to get in line to get ready to board your flight. And after I explained this to her, we began to talk, we began to have general conversation, and as we're talking, I noticed something. I noticed that she keeps looking at my boarding pass. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, why does she keep looking at my boarding pass? And then she looked at me and she asked me, she said, "What is your name?" I said, "My name is Raven." And I'll never forget the way that lady looked at me. She looked at me like she had just seen a ghost, right? Like her eyes got wide. Tears started welling up in her eyes. She looked at me, and in this soft voice, she said, "I was supposed to meet you today." And I'm sitting there thinking, "You were?" She said, "I was supposed to meet you today. You see, my son's name was Raven, and he committed suicide a few years ago." And instantly when she said that, I felt this chill go straight down my back. She then began to tell me what happened with her son and how hard life has been for her. I gave her my condolences, told her I was sorry for her loss, and then she asked me, she said, "Will you just sit here and talk to me? Will you just sit here and talk to me until it's time to board the flight?" I said, "Of course." She wound up boarding the plane before I did. And when I finally got on the plane, I remember I sat in the very front. So when we landed in Colorado, I was one of the first people to get off the plane. And I remember when I got off the plane, I went over and I waited and I sat to the side for a few minutes to see if I could run back into this woman, but I never saw her again. Now, y'all, I'm a firm believer that every day we wake up, right? Like every day we have breath in our body, every day we wake up, life has the opportunity to teach us life lessons. Right? But this is the thing. Life doesn't teach us the way school teaches us. School teaches us through lecturing, through reading, through sitting in a classroom. But life teaches us through situations and experiences. And I believe it's our job as individuals to figure out, how can I extract the lesson from this situation or experience? And more importantly, how can I apply it to my life? After I met that lady, I kept asking myself, what was life trying to teach me in that moment? Right? Like, what was life trying to say to me? And I believe life was trying to remind me of this. Life is not about what you can get. Life is about what you can give. And I began to look at it from a different perspective and in a deeper sense. It wasn't about what can you give in terms of money, status, or materialistic things. It was about what can you give and how can you help someone else. In that moment, in that situation, the lesson was to give. I gave kindness, a conversation, a smile, a hug, friendliness. The lesson was to give, because you never know what the person sitting next to you is going through. And I think the problem with a lot of people in our generation today, y'all, is we constantly go through life and we're constantly trying to figure out what can I get from this person or this situation so it can benefit me. And every time we do that, what happens is we miss the opportunity for an opportunity to impact the life of someone else. And I think the day that you can wake up and the day that you understand that life is about the seeds that you sow and not the harvest you reap. Okay? Life is about the seeds that you sow and not the harvest you reap. The moment you understand that and every day you wake up, you understand that life is a gift and to have breath in your body is a blessing. And if you were to come in contact with one of your peers today and have some interaction with them, you have the opportunity to leave their life better than when you first found it. Your life is bigger than you. Right? And one thing I've learned, it's the small things, it's the little things that make the biggest difference. See, the great thing about life, y'all, is life gives us moments to impact someone else's life, moments where we can serve someone else, moments where we have the opportunity to change someone else. Like, I think more times than not, we underestimate the power of a hug, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or a simple act of kindness, all of which have the potential to turn someone's entire day around.